What's up, CineNerds? I'm JP.
And I'm Ryan. What's going on?
And today, we decided to do our top 5 Nicolas Cage films.
So I've talked about this to JP directly, but I tell him he's like having a second wife because he's my podcast wife. He's my pod wife. We'll say pod wife. Anyways, whenever I ask my wife where she wants to get something to eat, most guys know the pain that comes after that statement because women are so indecisive about choices and where they want to eat. Well, this one...
I'm very indecisive. I'm a very indecisive person.
He's indecisive but easygoing too, so it's not like a bad thing, but like he rolls kind of with whatever you suggest, and he's usually in agreement, usually. But in this instance, I was just giving an example, and I go, let's pick an actor and do like top 5 movies for an actor. I go like, and I said, for example, Nic Cage would be an option. And he's like, we can do Nic Cage. Like he just like jumped at it way more aggressively than I would. And he's probably seen far more Nic Cage movies than me. So we might have some differences here. I might learn a couple movies I need to check out. So we're excited to kind of dig into this a little bit.
Yeah, we talked a little bit when he first got here to start recording these episodes, and he was like, there's probably like 50% of his movies that I've not seen. And I'm like, yeah, there's probably only a couple that I haven't seen.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And I tend to lean towards the more darker movies, so I'm not really a fan of the comedy angles or the he's in quite a few rom-coms, things like that. So those ones I probably haven't seen.
And
but
I will say, one of his few movies that I have not seen did not make it on my list because obviously I have not seen the film. So when everybody gets mad if this film would be in your top list, it's only not in mine because I haven't seen it, and it may not even be in my top 5. But it was such a popular movie last year, Longlegs, that some people may be upset that I did not include it, but I have not actually watched Longlegs, and that is why.
So on that topic, I think his role in Longlegs, if I heard correctly, may have been what got him into talks with the True Detective series. Okay. So he might be taking on a season. I don't know if that means he'll be the antagonist or one of the detectives. I don't know what, but I would be here for it. I did not check out the last season with Jodie Foster, so I might need to go back to that. Some people were saying it was like turning into like supernatural shit, so I don't know how that'll roll. But
so, and I was going to do this on last week's episode, and we started recording Natural Born Killers episode, and then we got started and I forgot. So a month or 2 months ago, we'll say 2 months ago, while I was on tour, Brandy, who is in our live comments a lot of times,
Brandy,
she brought me a whole box of goodies, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, do I want to keep this for myself or do I want to pass this on to Ryan? Because I knew we both would love it. But I'd even looked at Brandy and said, I'm probably going to give that to Ryan. I have not given this to him, and he does not know what this is.
I've heard about it in the comments, but I don't.
And I have been so busy with everything that had happened that I just didn't ever I hadn't got to dig this out, because I had so much stuff packed up. So I did get this back and dug out, and so I'm going to pass it on to him right now so he can see what I decided to bring him out of the box of Brandy's goodies.
Ooh. That is magical.
And for you guys that are listening, it is the original Star Wars Phantom Menace collector's box.
Yeah, that's gonna be given some love. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, with the original VHS of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace in it. So yeah,
thank you to Brandy first and foremost, and thank you to JP for parting with it because that's pretty stellar. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do not have a copy of that on VHS, and so I almost kept it, but I was like, no, Ryan will appreciate that.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
And I just did get a new box set of the original trilogy on VHS.
You know what's crazy? I got to go to like a thrift store because I have so many VHS. I've been all about physical media lately, so VHSs matter. So wherever I can find a good VHS, I've been collecting them again. So I got to get a VHS player and I gotta start watching some of these because some of those gems on VHS, it's almost like there's almost like an element like when you hear vinyl record, there's a crackle, there's a little imperfection, and VHS, because it is a ribbon tape, it's not digital. It's just there's something that gives a little bit more crisp of an edge to it.
Yeah, and some of those old VHSs with like the graininess of the VHS of the tape.
Yeah.
With like especially some of the horror films, to me, some of the horror films feel scarier on VHS.
Yeah, this is awesome. Cool. Thank you so much.
So, our top 5 Nicolas Cage films.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, damn. That's your 3 for 3. What
3 for 3.
What happened? We'd go round for round, and all of a sudden the last 3 we've done, he's won. I need to start going against whatever I'm thinking. All right. Go ahead. You want me to start or you start?
You go ahead and start.
All right. My number 5 spot for Nic Cage rankings is a little gem called Bringing Out the Dead. This is an amazing film. I've heard people from New York say that it means more to them because of the way they focus on the New York-centric aspects and the way that they kind of really dig into a New Yorker's mindset, I guess. But for me personally, This film takes place over 3 days. It's kind of a guy who's just burnt out, beat up, who's a paramedic, and his start to finish kind of just bit of insanity. And it gets really dark at times. There's a comedic element that only Nicolas Cage can deliver, of course, but wow, it's a good watch. So if you haven't seen it before, highly recommend you check that out. Bringing Out the Dead.
And Bringing Out the Dead is in my honorable mentions.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it wasn't in my top 5. I do love this film, and yeah, for everything you just talked about, if you've never seen and there's a lot of people I think that miss Bringing Out the Dead.
Yeah, this is one of those ones I feel like a lot of people slept on, and they're like, yeah, whatever, another Nicolas Cage movie. Because let's be honest, there was a point in his career where there was Nicolas Cage fatigue, burnout, whatever you want to call it. We were all kind of over his face. And we'll get into a little bit more of that later because that definitely plays a factor into the choice for this top 5.
My number 5 is it's a newer film, but it's not a super newer film. I mean, I think it came out 10 years ago or so. Mom and Dad.
I have not seen Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad. And I think I've actually talked about this in some older episodes that we've filmed, but Mom and Dad is such a fucking good movie, and it's a horror film. I mean, it's a straight up horror film, and it's basically this virus is making the parents want to kill their kids. And and grandparents want to kill their kids.
When was this made?
Like 10 years ago or so.
So it's in his later year. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it is such a fucking hidden gem, and I mean it's a very intense movie. Like, I think in a lot of ways, I think with this whole Nicolas Cage list, at any given time, some of these movies could move around on what's my favorite, and Mom and Dad is one of these that I think could actually, at any given moment, could move up further to the top of this list for me. So if you've never actually seen the Nic Cage movie Mom and Dad,
I'm gonna check it out.
It's fucking incredible.
I wonder if that's on my list.
I don't know.
I purchased 25 Nic Cage movies off Fandango.
It is on my Fandango, so
okay, so I can always check that out that way. But yeah, no, I just those 25 movies. There's some really good ones in there, and there's some. So he's just got such an extensive library. But all right, was that it?
Yeah. I mean,
all right. I'll go into my number 4, and I'm going to say number 4 is brought to you by Seemingly Perfect Designs. So for those of you who can't see, I'm just holding the mug from Seemingly Perfect Designs they made for us because I'm really happy about this mug. So I'm going to talk about it a lot because this is just such an awesome mug. But I'll shut up and get into 4, I swear. Anyways, thank you again, Angie. Number 4 is, I think you might have it on your list. You might have ignored this on your list because it's such a popular one for him. It's probably one of his biggest box office ones, if I had to guess. But Face Off.
Yeah, nope, not on my list. Not even an honorable mention.
So, but I love Face Off for multiple reasons. So, him and Travolta, the way they go at each other throughout this film, the exchanging of faces, the father aspect with the boy dating the daughter. so many good moments in this movie, and it's a good action film, just straight up. So I have to put this on that list because this is one of those movies you can always put on in the background and it's rolling and it's amazing.
Yeah, most people's favorite Nick Cage movie is Face Off.
Not my favorite.
I hear a lot of people always talk about Face Off and it being one of their favorites or their favorite. Like I said, it did not even make my honorable mentions on my list. Now, doesn't mean I don't like Face Off. I think Face Off's a fun movie, but I just think there's better Nick Cage films out there.
That's for you.
Yeah. Just kind of like my number 4, which my number 4 is another one of his probably more commercial films. And this is one that I have always loved, and I'll still put this movie on because I think it's so fucking fun, and maybe it's because of the cars.
Oh, I know what you're doing. Okay.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
It's a solid movie.
You know, and maybe it's because of the cars. I love cars, and this movie, like I said, I can put it on at any time and just have fun watching it. I can put it on the background while I'm doing stuff. I can sit down and just watch this film and fucking love it for what it is. I love the chases in it. I love the action sequences. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's a fucking fun movie.
You know what else is fun about this movie? Angelina Jolie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Freaking amazing in this movie.
And it's a remake.
I don't care. Angelina, that's what sold it.
Oh, no, yeah. No. I'm just saying, it is a remake, too. So it's one of those remakes that I do have fun with.
That's all you're going to talk about for Gone in 60 Seconds?
Well, I mean, he steals cars.
It's pretty in 60 seconds.
In 60 seconds.
All right, then I will dig into my number 3. And my number 3 is a more recent film of his. And it's one of those movies that I think will become a cult classic in time. But it's not one that's well received on first watches. Definitely an independent film channel film. Definitely not for your... if you like big blockbusters, this isn't for you. But if you like seeing Nic Cage spiral into insanity with a little bit of a love story and some cult aspects, Mandy is phenomenal. All the way into the axe that this guy forges and fabricates to take down this cult who has heard his love is just, this movie was rad. There were some hallucinogenic scenes that were a little bit much for me. I'm not a big fan of when that happens in movies. I didn't even talk about that much, about how much I don't like that when we discussed Natural Born Killers. But this one, it was a bit much, but I got past it because the rest of the movie is fucking amazing. So I love it.
I like Mandy, and Mandy is another one that is on my honorable mentions because I
want to know what the rest of your damn list is now. Dear God.
Because I do love modern Nic Cage. I love most of everything he's done in the past 10 years. Mandy being one of them. I mean, that movie is such a fucking... It's a fucked movie. I'm just putting it out there. That movie is fucked. And Nicolas Cage he just plays insane so well. I think it's just natural to him. So, my number 3. This is another newer one. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
This is on my list as well. I won't say where, but it's on it.
My number 3, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. If you've not seen this film, let me tell you, and you guys have heard me say in previous episodes where I've said I like Pedro Pascal, but he's getting kind of overcasted in a lot of things. Every time you turn around, he's being pushed into tons of roles, which is great for him, but it's kind of overkill for me at this point. But he's a great actor.
Can I segue into that?
Yeah.
So I'm starting to have a disdain for Pedro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Pedro, by the way, he is the Mandalorian. Like, he owns that. There's a few other roles he's had through the years. He owns it. I'm actually cool with him as Joel on Last of Us as well. But what I'm finding out, the more I'm watching more of his movies now, he's being put blatantly in our face, is he doesn't have depth. He doesn't have range. He's very monotone, and quite frankly, after his portrayal of Mr. Fantastic, he's boring. Like, I hate to say that, but because I do love him, and he's a genuinely good human being, it seems. But he's got to have some kind of depth and some kind of way to expand his acting, because it's just getting rough.
Yeah. Well, and I actually really enjoy Pedro Pascal in this role in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. But again, he is very monotoned, even in this role. But he has a swagger to him in this role too.
I'm doing it. I don't care. Hold on. So for those of you that can't see, I don't know if you can hear, I just had to get up and walk away from the table to scratch my back on the corner of a wall like a bear, because that shit itched badly. Sorry.
But this movie is Nicolas Cage plays himself, and Pedro Pascal is a huge Nicolas Cage fan, and you know he goes to visit this massive fan. He gets paid; it's a payday for him, and chaos happens from there. You know, this guy's a cartel fucking guy, and it goes off the rails from there. So, if you want to watch just have a fun night with a movie, this is the movie for you, and it is my number 3. So,
it's a great pick. All right, number 2. So this one was a hard one to find. I almost splurged and spent $13 on it, but I didn't. I remembered enough of it where I just wanted to talk about it, because this movie is one of those movies that I saw in I don't know, it'd be late 90s, maybe early 2000s, and it's one of those movies that after you watch it, what you've seen in the movie stays with you. It's called 8mm, and if you haven't seen 8mm, it's worth a watch, but just be ready for what you're about to watch. It's a detective who stumbles across a snuff film ring, if you will, and he tries to get to the bottom of it and digs deep, and some of the things he finds and uncovers, it gets really dark really fast. Probably one of his darkest movies, if I'm being honest. So I am here for that movie. I think it's amazing for him. The depths where he had to pull from and actually like throw out the acting there was just surreal, and it was great, and I just applaud him for his performance in this.
And we talked about this when you first got here. 8mm it's a film that I watched when it came out, and I fucking loved that movie when it came out, but I have not ever watched again, and I don't remember anything about the film other than I know what the premise of the film is. But as for the scenes, as for how much I would actually really like that movie if I watched it now, I have no clue. So that is one that I have to revisit. And it's one of the few Nic Cage movies that I would really have to revisit. So obviously it's not even an honorable mention for that reason. So,
all right.
My number 2, and I think this one's going to surprise a lot of people.
What do we got?
Drive Angry.
Really?
I love Drive Angry. And now let me explain why I love Drive Angry.
Pay attention to his shit-eating grin.
So this movie, even though it stars Nicolas Cage and Amber Heard, who Amber Heard is just not a great actress.
I saw Aquaman and I disagree. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Whenever I think about Aquaman, not only do I think about her horrible acting, I just think of this like turd happening and floating up to the surface in the water. But anyways, go ahead.
So Amber Heard, she's okay in this film. You know, she's Amber Heard. But this movie is literally about a guy that escapes hell in this car and is driving around, going on basically hunting down this cult.
So you tell me again why you ignored Ghost Rider?
That's where I'm going with this. That's exactly where I'm going with this. So I did not include Ghost Rider on my honorable mentions on my list because I fucking I love Ghost Rider, the comic. Love Ghost Rider the character. I loved Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, but fuck, were those films? So those films were fucking horrible. They were so shitty, and I fucking hate them. But I think that's why I love Drive Angry, is because he's essentially playing Ghost Rider in a car, and it's a better fucking movie than what we got with the Ghost Rider films.
I have not seen Drive Angry, so I can't talk to it.
Yeah,
but I will say this: if we're talking about like, so we've talked about this before, but like Venom, that franchise to me was, in all in the big picture, it was pretty awful. But but it was enjoyable on a fun level, and I put the Ghost Rider movies there. Like I don't applaud them. I wouldn't recommend them to anyone, but I'll watch them for fun. They're not bad.
I'll watch the first one for fun, but the second one I won't.
I draw the line.
And yeah,
does the second one make you want to Drive Angry?
It makes me want to watch Drive Angry.
Heard.
Drive Angry is just, it is, to me, it's essentially the Ghost Rider. A lot of it's the kind of a rehashed Ghost Rider story, or to me, it's what it feels like, but it's better than those fucking Ghost Rider films. And it's gory, it's cheesy, it's everything that I love in a film, and it's well shot, and the action sequences are fun. It's just an overall great action film, almost a horror film. I don't know what the rating is. I would have to imagine the rating on Drive Angry is rated R. And I'd have to imagine that the ratings on those Ghost Riders were PG-13.
Those were PG-13, I can tell you that. Drive Angry is R.
Yeah. So there's the line, and to me that's the reason it's a better film than the Ghost Rider films. Is you get gore, you get the horror elements in Drive Angry that should have been in Ghost Rider.
Okay. Are we at number 1 already?
Yeah, but I've got some honorable mentions.
I do too.
So,
but number 1 will take me a minute to talk about. So, number 1 for me, I really fought with going back and forth. I had different choices. I almost put 8mm at number 1, honestly, because it's such a good movie. Dark as fuck, but a good movie. But number 1 for me, I went a different route, and given that it's a much newer movie, I just wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent for me is number 1, and the reason why I chose that one as number 1 is because Nicolas Cage, and he started doing this before this movie, but there was a period where he, Robert Downey Jr. did this too, but he did it in a more grandiose way, kind of, where he went straight up the flagpole and went right to the top. Nicolas Cage reinvented himself from the bottom up, I feel. He reinvested in his own career and kind of doubled down and started taking on movies that he probably thought he was too good for in prior years. He just started owning every role that was given to him and taking it all, is what it seemed like. But in the context of, I'm not going to be who I was in the past. I've got a different road, different path. So we started getting movies like Mandy, Willy's Wonderland, some of these just obscure, which is the first Five Nights at Freddy's, for being honest. I think anyways, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But anyways, this movie was kind of outlining that for me. This movie, yes, Pedro, I just talked about how much he's been bothering me lately as an actor, but him and Nicolas Cage as a pairing in this is great. You've got Doogie Howser as Nicolas Cage's agent. What's his name?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, and that's even good too. But Nicolas Cage in this movie, basically, he owns rock bottom. He plays himself hitting rock bottom. His agents are fed up with him. They're telling him to take birthday parties. He wants to retire from acting because he's felt like it's gone so badly. He is just all of the roads forward are not looking good for him, and he feels like he's failed his family. So he takes this birthday party that's Pedro Pascal's, and he goes and he just kind of rediscovers himself. I mean, there's that popular scene where they're driving along the coastline, and they're both on LSD, and the smile meme you see where they're looking back and forth at each other it's priceless. But it just showed me that somebody who's willing to put themselves in the spotlight in that way, shape, and form to say, hey, you know what? I own the fact that you guys might not have liked what I was doing before, but I've got some things that I've got up my sleeve still. And the way that he delivers that here is absolutely amazing. I was here for it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was delivered well. It was one of those movies I kept putting off. I think I had gotten halfway through and stopped and didn't watch it. Didn't go back to it for many years. Not many years, a couple years. When is that from? Isn't that from like pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was.
So it sat in my queue for 2 years.
It was somewhere around maybe post pandemic, but it was.
Yeah, because I had it in there and like it sat for a long time. It felt like a couple of years, but regardless, went back to it and I was like, why didn't I watch this all the way through? This is excellent. So yeah, that's my number one.
And that was my number 3. Yeah, it was my number 3. So for the same reasons, I mean, it's just a fun fucking movie.
Yeah, it's great.
So my number 1. Is it an old movie? Is it a new movie? Because we've talked very little about his early career.
Well, 8mm and Bring Out the Dead were early.
Those were early-ish. They were more mid, but yeah, early-ish. So my number 1 is another newer film. And I fucking love this film. We have reviewed this film. Oh, you don't know what Nic Cage movie we've reviewed?
Dude, we're almost 2 years in now. And we've not missed a week yet.
No. Willy's Wonderland.
We didn't do a specific review on this,
Yes,
though.
we did.
I don't remember doing a whole episode on this.
Did we not?
I don't think we did a whole episode on this.
We're going to have to look this up. I swear we did a whole episode
We've
on
talked
Willy's
about
Wonderland.
it for sure, but I don't think we did a whole episode on it.
Maybe we didn't.
I remember in depth we definitely talked about it because we were talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, and we were talking about comparisons, but I don't think we did a whole episode.
Maybe we didn't do a whole episode. I was thinking we did when James was still here.
But I remember the discussion with James here. We definitely had the discussion, but I think maybe we were talking about Nic Cage films again.
Maybe. It's a possibility.
Strong possibility with this guy.
We'll have to go back and see if we actually reviewed Willy's Wonderland. I thought we had. Willy's Wonderland. Nic Cage doesn't have one fucking line in the whole film, and he's just going around killing possessed animatronics. Yeah. And it's what a fucking fun John Wickish / Five Nights at Freddy / horror film this is. And the premise is bonkers, the acting is bonkers, everything about this film is bonkers, which is why it's my number 1. You guys know a lot of my taste in films that are very over the top. I like things that are really over the top and just insane and bonkers. And that doesn't mean it can be over the top in a low budget, form as well as a big budget. And this is one of those films, and that's why it's my number 1. I could watch this movie anytime. I could just put this movie on. And there's a lot of Nicolas Cage movies that I could do that with. But this one, as soon as I watched it, this was the turning point when I knew Nic Cage was back. And in his later career, he was back, and he was back for the vengeance on taking over this underground, lower budget films, but be dominant doing it. And that's why it is my number 1. So
that is a fair choice. So that kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about with him reinventing himself too, because that's one of those roles that you would never, in his face-off era, I don't ever see him taking a role that was like Mandy or Willy's Wonderland. I don't see any of that happening. So like for him to be grounded and understand what he's contributed now, I feel like a lot of his film is more appreciated now, honestly, if I'm being honest. He's taking these what would have been considered risks. He's investing in these roles though that are not quite par for the course, but ones that leave a lasting impression without a doubt.
Yeah. You got any honorable mentions?
I got a few.
I've got a few. So obviously I already said Mandy was one of my honorable mentions, as well as Bringing Out the Dead. So we can't talk about Nic Cage and not talk about Con Air.
That's not one of my honorable mentions.
It's one of my honorable mentions. Now, this is a movie that I can put on to have fun with. It's not a great movie. It's not a great movie, but
at least you said it.
It's not a great movie, but his acting is so bad in it that he's incredible in it.
The diehard Cage fans out there listening, I'm sorry, but it's just not good. I agree with him. It's not all that, but a lot of people will die on that hill that's saying it's an amazing film.
Oh, I know people will say it's their favorite.
Oh
Nic
yeah,
Cage
I can't
movie,
do it.
And
I
I'm
can't
just
do
like,
it.
This movie is shit.
Sorry, not sorry.
But it's on my honorable mentions because it is so fucking shitty that I love it.
My first honorable mention I'll go with is Lord of War. I liked Lord of War a lot. And you know what's funny is, and he should not have watched it, but my 12-year-old found this in my library, and he watched it because he loves anything about guns for whatever reason. So I got to rewatch that and appreciate that. So I was good with that movie. I like that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Arms Dealer Cage.
Color Out of Space, which was a newer film.
I forgot about that. That is an excellent film.
Yeah, which
oh
is
my God.
Another newer film that he did. And Color Out of Space was based on, what's his name? It was based off his novels.
Lovecraft?
Yes, thank you. H.P. Lovecraft. Do not know why I even own the fucking books, and I do not know why his name was escaping me. Old man mind's not working right. Yeah, it's based on H.P. Lovecraft, and man, that's such a fucking weird movie.
So here's my take on that movie. Even though I love that movie, I love this other one I'm going to mention too. That is essentially a non-zombie version of Cabin Fever.
Kind of. I guess I can kind of see that.
I love both those movies.
Yeah.
I know you don't care for Cabin Fever. I think we talked about that, but I love that movie. So yeah, no, Color Out of Space, I watched that one not knowing what I was getting into, but I was like, it's Nic Cage. Like the other one I've got in the queue that I haven't seen yet, I don't know if you have seen, is Pig.
It's in my honorable mentions.
Okay, well, I guess that's a good one too. But Color Out of Space really, really, that grabbed me pretty hard. I'm a sci-fi nerd through and through, and that one is it. So,
yeah. Well, and I know I just did that, and I'm gonna skip you, but since you already said it, Pig, it was on my honorable mentions, and if you've never seen this one, it's essentially Nic Cage playing a John Wick kind of character because somebody stole his pig.
And it's this pig that I know. I read the thing, so I haven't seen it yet. But the pig is like he is a forager, and this pig hunts specific mushrooms for him.
Yep.
So this pig means everything to him. He loves this pig, and he just kind of goes crazy over a pig. So, my next one, which I'm a diehard Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford guy through and through. So anything that gives me that vibe of Indiana Jones, I'm here for. National Treasure. I think this movie is so fucking fun. And the first time you're watching it, when the dots are connecting and the clues are coming into play, it's almost like it was almost like they made the Da Vinci Code movie before with National Treasure, because it was so cool the way they connected all the dots and led them to the main treasure. So I am a fan of that, and I believe from what I just read recently, we're getting a third installment of that. They're going to finally cap that franchise.
National Treasure is on my honorable mentions for the same reasons.
I thought you would shit on that one.
No.
Okay, all right.
And I was actually going to start my honorable mention with a quote from Klaus from American Dad, which is the movie National Treasure is in fact when Nic Cage became a national treasure.
That's fair.
And
that's fair.
the movie's ridiculous, but you know if you like adventure style films, like you said, like Indiana Jones and Alan Quartermain and things like that.
I forgot about the Alan Quartermain series. Holy shit.
That's why I love National Treasure. So,
all right. I got one more. I mean, I'm sure there's a few more, but first, before I say my last honorable mention, refresh my memory. Bangkok Dangerous.
I'll be honest with you, that is one of the few that I've never actually watched all the way through.
I feel like I watched it and I feel like I enjoyed it. I think it's a good film, but it's a 2008 movie, so I probably haven't seen it since it came out. But anyways, my last honorable mention is none other than Kick-Ass. And the reason I chose that is because that's a really fucking fun movie. He's not a huge part in it, but he is indirectly. But it still was one of those movies that, because he's part of it, I got to include this.
So I got two more, and that was not one of them.
Oh, interesting.
And I did not include, honestly, and I'll go ahead and say this, I didn't include Kick-Ass because I don't think of that as much of a Nic Cage film as I do the other actors. What's his name? That was just played Craven, the main star of Kick-Ass. I think of it as more their movie.
Taylor, whatever, yeah.
Think of it more as their movie versus Nic Cage. So I did not include Kick-Ass in my list, and I also did not include Renfield in my list for that
Why
reason.
didn't you include The Flash? No, I'm just kidding.
We're not going. No. No. So I had actually included. I had two more honorable mentions, and one of them was the movie Firebirds. Did you ever see that one?
I don't believe so.
He plays a helicopter pilot. It is kind of another like 90s version, Nic Cage version with helicopters version of Top Gun, and it's not a very good movie, but I like it because it was just one of those movies that I watched back when I was a kid, and I just always fondly remember watching it. And my last one is probably most of everybody's number one, or would be in their top five, is my last honorable mention, which is Raising Arizona.
Yeah, that was an early one for him.
And Raising Arizona is so fucking good. I mean, and the cast in that movie is really good. And that was kind of his breakthrough role, the best that I remember. That was the film that really kind of put him on. He did movies before them, but that was the one that kind of just put him out there.
You know what one of his earliest movies was, where he's not even named in the movie? He's just like an extra.
Oh, it's Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Well, I didn't see that one. I was referring to Outsiders.
I don't remember him in Outsiders.
He was in Outsiders. It says SOC number 1. SOC. Soch number 1. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like one of the fry cooks in Fast Times.
Let me see this.
Yeah, you're looking it up now?
I am. He's not on it. It's not listed.
Go to actor. You're under producer.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, second one.
Yeah.
Brad's Bud. He doesn't have a name either.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't really realize that he was in Fast Times.
Yeah, 82 was Fast Times, 83 was Outsiders.
Well.
Cool.
So, that is our favorite Nic Cage films. And he has such a huge catalog. There's a lot more you could really talk about. Nic Cage, I mean, dude you had his IMDb open. I don't know how many films he has, but I'm sure he's got a couple hundred.
I didn't even look at the full amount. Let me see for actor. Let's see. It's scrolling for a while, so that would.
Well, yeah, because he has a huge catalog.
118.
Yeah, I knew he had a lot. It's not like Clint Howard a lot, but
you got He's going to be in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse coming up. Spider Noir, which we all know about. They're making a follow-up to Lord of War called Lords of War.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. And then there's some other ones called like High Fire, The Prince, The Carpenter's. That's what I want to talk about. Have you seen anything about The Carpenter's Son?
No.
So The Carpenter's Son, a trailer leaked online for this one. And he essentially, it's like a horror's take, horror take on Jesus.
I was going to say, this has to be biblical.
Supposedly he plays Joseph, and it's about his son coming to be and demons chasing them and what they have to face to keep him safe.
That sounds interesting.
I'm locked. Let's go. Because if it's in any way, going side quest from what we know in the Bible, I love those kind of stories. So,
do you have any recommendations?
Yes. So one of the ones I just recently put on my letterbox, which I want to talk about, we talk about sleeper movies. Like I even said, I put Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I put that aside after only seeing half of it. This is another one of those movies I put in my queue forever ago, and I never explored it. And I was like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm going to watch this. Puka. Have you seen Puka?
I saw you did a review on this, and I have not watched this one.
So this movie, I was not expecting to be what it was. So it's an actor who's a struggling actor. He's trying to go to auditions. He can't find one that fits. He finds one that fits, and it's him playing this child character with this set dance. They have a kind of a training dance, programming dance, if you will, but they use this character Puka, and he has to own this suit, own the character. He doesn't want to do it at first, and he keeps getting drawn to this suit, and the suit becomes a secondary personality for him almost. And all these crazy murders start happening, all these things start happening. He's losing track of time, and this thing is just a slow descent and spiral into madness for this guy. And I mean, there's no happy endings on this one, which I wasn't expecting, but the aspect of, like, imagine like if the dude inside the Barney suit went fucking crazy and started killing people. That's what this is, but it's more of a approach from the guy and not from the just the killing machine. So
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check out. I actually started to look that one up and watch it the other day because I saw that you reviewed it, and
I liked it a lot.
So I actually thought about actually watching that one. So you guys may see me post this on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Kill Giggles. I had some friends that okay. I had some friends that was in a movie that was it's an independent kind of horror film. It's not super horror, but it's kind of a low budget indie. It's more, I think it's more of a low budget indie thriller film with more horror elements versus a straight up horror film. But Kill Giggles is, and I thought it was an amazing take on it, just to give you an idea. The title Kill Giggles, you can, and obviously if you look at the image of it, it has a clown on the cover. It's not about a killer clown. It's the whole film, start to finish, is about this guy that is mentally ill and thinks all clowns are like real monsters, and so he kills any clown that he sees. And it's a very interesting twist. I thought it was a very interesting twist on like kind of clown horror, versus having a scary clown. You've actually got a scary human.
So is it told from his standpoint?
Oh yeah.
So okay.
Yeah. I mean,
so would you say it was a killer's confession? By the way, I was going to make a joke here too, because JP did point out, look what's in the background of this movie, and there happens to be an AKC poster on the back wall.
There was. And I actually knew that poster was in the film someplace, because like I said, I had a couple friends that actually were actors in this film. And very specifically, one of the clowns, if you watch this film, one of the clowns that's actually in like a stage, they're on a stage during a flashback scene, is one of my friends. And then at the end, there's two officers, and both of the officers I'm friends with. So this film, they actually filmed this. This has been done since like 2020. This film's been done for a while, and it just now got released. And one of my friends in the movie, he'd actually told me while I was in North Carolina last month that the movie was coming out. And it's Jody from Hero Clash Collectibles in North Carolina, where I buy a lot of my toys at. He's one of the actors in it. And so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. And so, yeah, as soon as it hit, I bought it this past week. And it's a fun movie. I mean, I thought it was a very creative take, especially for a low-budget indie film. It was a very creative take on what I thought I was walking into watching it. So,
cool.
All righty. CineNerdsPodcast.com, where you can go all of our new episodes, written reviews, our YouTube channels, our Facebook, our Spotify, our Apple Podcast. Our letterboxes are on there. You can follow us. You can follow all those pages. You can leave reviews. You can share videos, share audio episodes to your social medias. There's also a shop there What can they find on our shop there, Ryan?
A multitude of things, a plethora, if you will. We have T-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, which I already talked about how much I love my coffee mug. So there's lots of fun in there, and we might be adding some new fun in there as well. Oh, keychains too, and koozies. Those are some others, and a hat. I believe there's a hat too right now. Yes,
is there? Yeah,
yes.
that may be.
So, but the wonderful bag that we got recently from Angie from Seemingly Perfect Designs had also pajama pants and a drawstring bag in it that we are looking maybe to add to the shop later on. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Until next time, next Thursday, 8:00.
Cheers.
Later.